Hi, and welcome back to Every Note Counts. Today we're going to be looking at musical dyads. In other words, two notes that, when played together, give the feeling of a larger chord being played. These two notes that imply a larger chord will be the root and the third, or a flat third if it's minor. This means that you're only going to need to know two chord shapes, the major chord shape and the minor chord shape, and they're both only two notes. These chord shapes are movable, so we're going to be looking at where we can find them on the D string and the G string in this progression. We're playing in the key of B minor today, so we're going to look at where all these dyads fall in relation to that starting chord. Once you get a sense of where these dyads are in relation to your starting chord, you can begin building your own riffs and chord progressions around them. Before we go too much farther, let's not forget, shameless plug! Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell if you'd like to know when other videos are released. I'd really appreciate it. I know some people love music theory and some people really hate it and avoid it at all costs. So we're going to keep that to a minimum. Here's what you need to know. A major scale has intervals between its notes in this order: whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. We're starting on B minor though, and so that is actually the sixth note of the major scale D major. So we're going to use the sixth note as our starting point, and all the whole steps and half steps will fall in line according to starting on the sixth note. And that order is whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So here are the two shapes you need to know. This one for major chords, this one for minor chords. That's it. And here's where they fall on the fretboard. Also notice that I arranged these dyads according to the colors on the light spectrum. Good old Roy G. Biv coming in handy for us knowing the order of these dyads. So we're starting on red, since that's going to be our relative minor and the B minor that we're using to begin the progression. You can see B minor is located right here, and that will be our starting point. It is the relative minor, the sixth note of the D major scale, with D major located here. So the 6 is minor, the 7, we're going to treat it as minor, the 2 and the 3 are also minor, so they will all use this shape. The 1, the 4, and the 5 are major and will use this shape. Okay, now let's look at these ideas from a guitarist's perspective with his eyes on the fretboard. Since we're starting on the 6, because of this minor sound, we're going to have to count whole, half, whole, half, whole. So whole, half, whole, half, whole. We need to figure out which chords are major and which chords are minor. So the only major chords that we need to worry about then are the 1, the 4, and the 5. 1, 4, 5 are major, which means 2, 3, and 6 are minor. This is a 6. It's the relative minor of D major. So we're starting on a 6. We're treating that as our home base, which means when we go back to our 5, it's going to be major. When we go back to our 4, it's going to be major because 1, 4, and 5 are all major. 6 is minor, and our 7 we're treating as minor, which allows us to do neat things. And you can just play around with these and experiment to see what different progressions that you like using only these two notes. You get the idea. When we start this progression, we're going to slide up on the D string to that 9th fret, and then we're going to pick up on the G string the 7th fret. What this does is it gives us our root, which is a B, based on the 2 frets up rule and 2 strings up rule. Then when we have a 6th string root, there's our octave. So we have our octave, which is a B, and then we have our flat 3rd here, 7th fret of the G string. So instead of playing that entire chord, we can just play, and we get the minor flavor. Then when we go into the next 2 chords, those are major chords that, again, we're just playing the root and the 3rd out of the middle of the chord. So we slide to the 3rd fret of the D string and the 2nd fret of the G string, and this is a G major. And then up to an A major, again playing the D string and the G string, this time at the 7th fret and at the 6th. So this in total gives us and to make this your own, if at any point you want to add extra notes out of those chords that are built around those 2 notes, you can. Kind of like that. What we're doing next here is we're going to go to the 12th fret and hit that D on the D string, and then we're going to pick up this note right here on the 11th fret of the G string, and then go down to the 11th fret of the D string and the 9th fret of the G string. So that's, and then we're going to go up to the 14th fret of the D string and the 12th fret of the G string, and then back down to 12 and 11 of D and G. So this is a D major. That is a C sharp minor, or a D flat minor. This is an E minor, and then back to D major. So we've arrived back here on our B minor, and we're going to go from here, strumming it, back to our 5. So once we do that, we're going to go up to our tonic 1, D major, and then back to our 7, which we're treating as a minor chord. Here's some other cool things you can do with this idea. So just take your 2 notes, and what I'm doing here is I'm just muting all the rest of those notes. And then insert little blues licks or rock and roll licks that you like. And then tie in some other chord movement that you've been practicing. things like that. Just take licks that you like. And just figure out where you want to put them in this little progression. All sorts of different fun things you can do with these DYADS, these 2-note chords. They're easy. They're 2 notes, and they don't take your whole hand, so you can quickly relocate to doing something else and then come back to them. It's just a fun way to get chord movement without forming full chords. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.